you go. There's an intro. We never did music before. That was so much fun. And we're trying out a new filming thing right now, guys. So bear with us because we're still working through some of it.
Yeah, so just so you know, it added 20 pounds to me, so it's not what I really
The camera
look like.
did. How many cameras are on you right now? So everybody, welcome to the Coach's Spot. I am your host, Jason T. Powell, with my co-host, Anthony. Super
Coach. Yeah, there you go.
Dude, wow,
My brain
he's,
farted.
he's really
I'm
on
sorry.
it today.
I'm tired.
DeBrule.
No, I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm tired.
He had to drive to Wiley with me to pick up my daughter's birthday cake. So,
Well, and I've been already doing a couple sessions.
yeah, he's already been working today.
6 days.
So anyway, today's show is about Anthony.
Today's show is brought to you. No, I'm just kidding. It's about getting to know. Well, I don't want to say getting to know, but making more an investment to know your students better, investing the time so they know that, you know what I mean? That
You're so eloquent. I don't know how else to put it. That was so eloquent. Hey, while we're on it, though, since we haven't gotten into the subject yet, because Anthony's still trying to find the words to elegantly introduce it, we should talk. This is probably our last episode before Hector comes on.
Yep.
So that'll be cool because that's going to be this week, guys. We're going to have Hector Valdez Jr., who is a 13 and 0 professional fighter. He's a boxer. Will and I are going to actually go to see the match, this Ortiz versus Hooker at the Dickies in Dickies. Do they call it Dickies Center?
Yeah.
Okay, Dickies Center in Fort Worth. We're going to go watch the fight. Anthony is not going because he will be in Lubbock with his athletes.
Yep, my athletes.
And he said there's no place he'd rather be than Lubbock with his athletes. He was not upset about missing the fight at all. No. He is so excited to be in Lubbock.
Yep.
The cotton picking capital of Texas.
Yeah. Don't they have like a prairie dog farm? Something like that?
I have no idea. I just know that it's the number one producer of cotton in Texas.
Mm.
Because they always play it during the national anthem, and I'm kind of like,
yeah. So sorry, Hector, but my kids come first, bro.
His athletes come first. So, with that being said, what's today's topic? So eloquently put.
You know, I let's just kick into the conversation.
Okay, just kick into the conversation.
Yeah.
I'll work it out. I'll work it out when I title the episode.
So I was, of course, this is me always talking to my students and blah blah. Just having no more chats or whatever. But this one actually came from somebody that I do not coach. This is just another gymnast in the gym, as I'm going to say it. Anyway, she talks to me all the time. Awesome student, and she was saying, "Hey, why don't you guys talk about like coaches being more, more having more knowledge about their students? In other words, getting to know them, like, have a better relationship wise, other than coach student. You know what I mean?
Well, because that's what you're getting paid for.
Yeah.
Well, and there's boundaries that have to be set in that relationship that, especially now, are more relevant than ever. So, like, she's not even one of my athletes, but she's an oversharer. Mm-hmm. And there's stuff she tells me that I'm like, I don't want to know that. Like, one day she's older too, and she came in one day and she was talking about her legs being shaved. And she's like, I shaved this leg, but I didn't have time to do the other leg. So the other leg's all hairy now, like, especially up in the thigh area. And I'm like, I don't want to know this.
Well, I don't think that's necessary.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's because there has to be boundaries, especially if you coach them.
And I think it's on the lines of, you know what I mean? Hey, how's your day going? How are you feeling mentally? Or, hey, how's your body? Is it hurt today? What, you know what I mean? Instead of just going straight into, hey, this is what we're doing, get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
Because,
think
I mean,
a lot of
that's-
coaches do that.
Yeah.
I know I do.
And she was just saying, she's, and where she's at now, obviously she's fine. So
Right.
don't take this out of context, all you people out there that hate the world of gymnastics right now, because it's not. It was just, it would. She's trying to help out other coaches, anyway. But yeah, it was, and this kid's a good kid, because I mean, she comes in and she'll just, she'll talk about past and all that other stuff, and now, and she's happy. This kid's going off to college soon, and she's looking forward to that, and her goal right now is just making it to college, getting there and stuff like that. But we're talking about the whole thing that I think there's a lot of coaches out there that, again, don't have, I guess, a personal relationship with their students, other than you're my best vaulter, or vice versa on whatever event or whatever sport you're in. You're my best running back or whatever. You know what I mean? It's good to have that, I guess, I'm trying to think of what,
Rapport.
I guess, but
Well, and there are coaches like that. I mean, I think that some of that has to do with coaching style.
yeah.
Like Stoops from University of Oklahoma, the football coach that was at the University of Oklahoma. He was known more as a player's coach. Not Dick Vermeil. Was it Dick Vermeil? Coached the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. There's coaches that are known as players coaches, and there's coaches that are known as just strategic. This is how it is. It's my way or the highway. Get out if you don't like it. I mean, and I think kids or athletes fit into each category. I had a kid that was definitely going to probably go elite, and we just didn't jazz well together. She wanted a coach that was more, do it now. This is how I said to do it. And then, and she ended up leaving and going somewhere else. And it's funny because a friend of mine who's a very good coach was talking with my ex-wife at the time. We were in business together in the gym, and she was complaining about how this athlete left, and she was probably our best chance for an elite athlete and all this stuff. And she was like, I don't understand why Jason couldn't change his coaching style to fit her needs. And what she wanted was a hardcore disciplinarian, and that's not who I am. And my friend was like, because that's not who he is as a coach. And she needs to go find a coach. If she feels that way, she needs to go find a coach that fits that. He shouldn't have to change for that. Now, do I believe that on every level? No, I believe everybody has a different learning style, and sometimes you have to adjust your coaching style to fit that. And I've said it many, many times. I treat everybody differently under the same set of rules, because there's some kids that need you to jump in their face. There's some kids that need you to just step off. And, if you say I'm disappointed in you, that's more than enough. And the same way, the other way, you have girls that need a lot of praise, or athletes that need a lot of praise. Because I've coached boys too. I've coached boys in boxing. I've coached them in wrestling. And there's some athletes that need an immense amount of praise, and you need to point out everything they've done well because they're so hard on themselves. And then I have other athletes that are the exact opposite. The praise, one word is enough. Good. If you just say good job, and that's enough.
Yeah.
So it's different with every athlete. So I think there's some athletes that want that personal relationship of, hey, did you pass that chemistry test you were talking about today? Yeah. And there's other athletes that don't want that. There's athletes that are just like, man, you're here to coach me. Just coach me. Just tell me what I need to do. And so I think you need to adjust to that. With that being said, I think you and I are both players, coaches. Like we have pretty deep, conversations with our athletes. We are pretty close to our athletes. We're pretty exact opposite of disciplinary coaches or over disciplined coaches. I'm pretty disciplined, actually. People find that funny when they hear me talk because I'm so fluffy all the time. But I mean, I have a line, and you don't cross it, and this is where we stay, and this is the track we're on, and this is how we go, and this is the system. Do what's in the system. And then I have athletes that challenge that all the time. And I have some athletes that challenge it all the time, and then you have some athletes that challenge it once just to see, like, where's it at? And then, bam, oh, okay, never going to cross that line again. You know, so it's crazy. It's a hard line to take.
Yeah.
And I think it really helps in our sport or any sport. Will talks about this all the time too, because, you know, he coached offensive linemen. And, you know, you have some coaches that are players coaches, and then you have other coaches that are strategic and disciplinarians, and you have all these coaches. I think it's smart to have a mix. Mm-hmm. Like if my beam and floor coach is super, super tough on them, I'm usually more lax.
Yeah, so am I.
And exact opposite. If my beam and floor coach are their best friends and always talking to them and buddy with them, I tend to be more disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Because I think you need that balance. And I think that's what, I mean, we've said it before, that's what coaching is. It's knowing that balance and finding that balance and realizing if you have to be a therapist that day, or you have to be a coach that day, or you have to be a teacher that day, or a mentor, or even some days it's a partnership, especially with older athletes. Yeah, it's a partnership. You know, what do you think? What do you need here? What do you want to work on? You know, it's funny because when I get girls that are with disciplinarians and I give them a choice, it's like deers in a headlight, or deer in a headlight.
Yeah,
deer plural is deer. I'm pretty sure. There's no such word as deers. But
it's okay, you're doing better than I was earlier.
Mooses, plenty of mooses. But they get these huge eyes, and they're like, what do you mean I get to choose? I don't know what to do. What should I do? I'm like, you know, it's not really a life-changing thing. I asked you if you need to get a drink or you just want to head straight to bars. Like, you don't need to like, get the drink if you want to drink. If you don't want the drink, go to bars. It's not going to change your life. Just do it. And I think that's important too. And I think you need to give your athletes a choice every once in a while so they get those decision-making skills, because that's the biggest complaint of college coaches when they get gymnasts. Yeah. Is that they can't make a decision. They can't do anything on their own. No. Peyton Manning, when he went off to college, set his microwave on fire because he put a can of beans and opened up a can of beans and put it in the microwave because he had no idea how to use a microwave. So
I love that guy.
You need to teach these athletes how to make decisions. Mm-hmm. And as they get higher in their career, I think the more decisions they deserve to make. And I'll give them choices, and like, we're not going to veer outside these choices. So there's still boundaries, but you know, you got to get there.
Yeah. And I think too, with this whole subject is every once in a while, maybe you should ask your student, hey, how's the life? How you doing? Everything good? How's school? Good? You know, have a conversation every once in a while, other than gymnastics. I'm not saying every day, though.
No, that's what stretching's for. That's what I do with stretching. Hey, how was your day at school?
I like to do it sometimes on vault. Throw some jokes.
Yeah. And I'll tell stories. My co-coaches or my beam and floor coaches get so angry because they'll be like, you guys have been standing at the chalk tray for 5 minutes. I was telling a story. Yeah. But the athletes love it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes them feel closer and things like that. And there's some days, man, there's gotta be days where it's a little more chill. Should they outnumber the days where you're working as hard as you possibly can? No. By no means. I'm talking like a 90 to 10% ratio, maybe a 95 to 5% ratio, but you have to have those days. And you can usually read when they need it. They're tired. A lot of times after regionals or Westerns or nationals, I'll do it then, you know, where we're kind of chill that day and we just kind of run through events.
Yeah. I will say though, you can tell if you're a good comedian, if you're telling jokes to your kids and then they look at you and they go, what? You're like, never mind. I'm trying to practice here on you. So when I'm around my friends, I sound funny. And they're like,
not a good one.
It's not funny. Mm-mm. But if you get them rolling, you're pretty good in.
I get my kids pretty.
Kids are pretty blunt.
Amped up. I get them pretty amped up.
You know,
and I have kids, you know what's funny is I don't want to sit here and act like I'm an expert. Dude, I have one specifically, I can think of one athlete right now that hates my guts. She hates me, can't stand me, but I hold her accountable, and that drives her nuts. She doesn't like to be held accountable.
No, I got 2, maybe 3.
That just don't want to be held accountable. Well, it's not my fault. How's it not your fault? It's totally your fault.
I wouldn't say that they
Here,
hate
let's
but
here.
they get real mad at me. You can see it because they'll laugh and play with me, and then when I'm like that and I call them out or whatever, I get the look,
No,
you know,
this specific athlete hates my guts. And she came in the other night. We're on bars, and we're thumping away on bars. And she comes in late, comes over to bars, instantly becomes a distraction. You know how they are.
yeah. Well,
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, hey guys. And it's like, put your grips on, get in line, let's go. You're not here to distract everybody. Get moving. She was already late. My beam and floor coach is like, send her home. Send her home. If she's gonna be like, send her home. And so she was way late too, by the way, bro. I'm talking like 3 hours late.
oh,
And so I didn't send her home though. And she comes over. She's an instant distraction. And I'm like, why are you late? She's like, I had an appointment. I'm like, okay. And I dropped it. Didn't say a word. One of the other gymnasts told me where she was. So I knew. So then she comes back. I think they have Thursday and Fridays off. She comes back on Saturday. Again, not on time. Comes over to our event. We're on our event. She has a meet that day at 3:00. She's like, when do we get off bars? And I'm like, when I say we're done with bars. She's like, well, I'm getting tired. I'm like, you know how you could avoid that? She's like, how? I'm like, you could show up for practice. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how much stamina and conditioning you get just from coming to practice on time and staying till the end, because she leaves early all the time too, and staying till the end. And she goes, it's not my fault I'm not doing well in school. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you got a grade for getting your eyebrows done, because that's why she was late the night before. She got so mad. And I'm like, oh, someone calling you out and holding you accountable. Because I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry you're not doing well in school. Okay, well, you have 12 other hours in the day where you could have scheduled that appointment. You're going to schedule it, you know, and you're going to miss 3 hours of practice for it when you already don't come that many hours. And you haven't been on time for a practice since I've been at this gym. She has not been on time for practice. And then you're going to try to call me out? Like I'm doing poorly in school. Okay, well, you're getting your eyebrows done. That's a little different. Like, I'm almost positive they weren't giving you a grade.
you never know.
But that's it. That's what is it's Excuseville.
Yeah.
Well, 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022 is going to be worse. It's the age of excuses. You had the age of Aquarius. You had the age of this. You had the golden age. You had the Industrial Revolution. We're going to be known as the age of excuses, because that's all it is. It's just excuses. At the end of the day, let's get it straight. The kids that want to be there on time and the kids that want to do well, do it with no excuses. Athletes that want to do well, just go out and do it. Athletes that are not starting and want to get on the field, make it so that coach can't keep them off the field. That you work so hard in practice that coach knows you're indispensable and has to play you, has to put you on the field. Don't get me wrong. I didn't understand this as an athlete either. I'm like, why am I not starting? Why are they starting and I'm not starting? Because I didn't make it imperative and obvious to the coach that I should be the starter.
I didn't have that problem. I walked in on the field or wherever I walked in, they're like, start. Like, I know. And then I felt bad. I was like, you know what? Nobody else is getting a chance. I'm going to go ahead and pretend to fail out and get kicked off the team.
So someone else can get a chance?
Yeah, because
you're such a considerate guy.
Well, if they knew at the time they'd be like, dude, you're just doing it to be nice, bro. So this way they'd be like, yeah.
Hold on, just so you know, because dude, you have to remember it's 2021. We're gonna let everybody know that was sarcasm.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah.
Our listeners know it, but anybody else that might have listened on accident,
Yeah.
that's called sarcasm.
Yeah, we're joking.
You know what? Here's the thing. Since we're gonna have a boxer on, and is there anything more fair than pro fighting? Like, you get in the ring and you throw, and you're like, who wins, wins. Especially, that's the greatest thing about being able to knock out your opponent, because then you don't even have judges telling you. It's not even. Wrestling is to me, wrestling, and people are going to freak out here. Wrestling, golf, and professional fishing are the purest sports on the face of the planet. And this is why I'm going to explain myself. First off, wrestling, this is how it worked. I'm dieting. I weigh 142. I'm wrestling at they changed the weights when I was in high school. So I'm wrestling at 140. Okay. I'm within 1.5 pounds of that at the starting of the week. There's already a kid that's wrestling 140. I go to the coach and I say, I want to wrestle this weekend varsity. And Brad is already in that spot. And the coach says, great. Friday night, you line up, you get ready, and you go and you wrestle. Whoever wins starts. It doesn't get any more pure than that, other than the Roman Colosseum during gladiator times.
So how is golf?
Hold on. I'm going to explain myself.
Okay, my bad.
Pro golf and pro fishing are two of the only sports that if you don't perform, you don't get paid. So pro golf, when you're in pro golf tournament, it's a 4-day tournament. And I know you know nothing about golf, so I'll explain this. It's a 4-day tournament. After day 2, you're cut. You don't get a paycheck if you are not in the top 75, I think it is. The 150 people in a tournament, you're not in the top 75. They cut you that day. You don't get to golf the rest of the weekend, and you don't get a paycheck. So if you don't perform in the top 50%, you're not getting a paycheck. Fishing is the exact same way. They cut you after day 1, day 2, day 3. If you're not in a certain amount, you don't get paid.
My question is, this is going to make people mad, so I'm going to ask it. Are those really sports or just games?
Wrestling is by far a sport.
No, I didn't say wrestling. I'm talking about golf and fishing, because it sounds to me those are rich men games.
Well, first off,
not sports.
Fishing definitely isn't a game, because you're going against another species.
I've been at Chuck E. Cheese where you get those things in the little fishies out there.
Yeah, it's not like that. That's like when people are like, I can't go fishing because I get bored. I go, that's because you're not catching fish. That's why you're bored. If you go fishing with me, you don't get bored because you're actually catching something. I don't go fishing, I go catching.
And by the way, I'm a very good fisherman.
I'm sure you are, because beer drinking is involved.
Maybe.
Golf, on the other hand, you can call it a game. It is one of the most... I've seen great athletes that can't golf. Like, I can beat Brian Urlacher at golf.
So by that logic, then chess is a sport.
Absolutely. Absolutely, chess is a sport. You know why I can tell you chess is a sport? Because when they start a tournament, by the end of the tournament, they weigh less than they do when they started the tournament. The average chess player can burn up to 16,000 calories in one day, because you take up so much brain power. That's a sport. That is by far a sport.
So
cornhole is a sport. Anything where you're using your brain like that, and or physicality, because there's sports where it's just
brain
all
do you need
physicality.
for cornhole?
I'm not good at it.
I'm pretty good at it.
And I have spectacular hand-eye coordination. Actually, I am pretty good.
You know
at
how many
it.
people are so mad at me right now, calling me the worst.
Well, I'm telling you right now, chess is absolutely a sport.
I love chess. I suck at
Especially
it.
tournament chess. Especially tournament chess. Absolutely, it's a sport.
By the way,
absolutely.
if you guys haven't seen The Queen's Gambit, good show.
It's a great show. It's a great show.
One of my students stars in it. Just
It's
so
a
everybody
great
knows.
show. Yeah, she plays the little the girl at the beginning.
Yep.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
It's an
it is.
unbelievable. It's an unbelievably good show, and it proves that it's a sport because it is so mentally
Mm-hmm.
demanding. It. Anybody that says it's not a sport, I hate to tell you, I think spelling bee is a sport. I think spelling bee is a sport. I think anything where you engage your brain like that, and that's the problem with people, especially now that they're just like, oh, just a dumb jock. Well, spelling bee is not a sport because you don't have to do anything physical to get there. I guarantee if you hook them up and saw how many calories they burn because of stress during it. And I think anything that stresses you out like that is a sport.
Well, you know what? I guess
But yes, chess is absolutely 100%
all
a
those,
sport.
I call them games because I'm not good at any of them.
Well,
So
and then the
consider-
argument is anything you play is a game
Yeah.
and anything you do is a sport. So you play golf, but you do fishing. No, they're both sports. They're both
All right,
sports.
all right. Fair enough.
That's a silly. It's just like golf. People love to down. Oh, it's a rich man game, and it's this and that and this. Do it. I don't go golfing because I suck at it so bad. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a sport.
I'm really good at driving the cart and drinking the beer.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are. And it took me a long time to get good at golf.
And you should see me in my golf shorts.
Skateboarding is a sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all sport, man. Anything anything like that is a sport.
I'm excited to see the comment section in this episode. They're not going to like Anthony.
Why? I don't. I
There's
just
some
consider
people
it
that,
all a
like,
sport.
When I say things like that, and I'm joking, but they get heated. They get real
Yeah.
mad. Like, I can't believe it, bro. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Jeez.
Well, just like the last episode. Have you listened to the last episode with me and Will? What makes an athlete?
I didn't.
Will asked a really good question. It was his idea. And he asked, what makes an athlete?
Mhm.
And I 100% said showing up. That's what makes you an athlete. Showing up to practice makes you an athlete. Showing up,
Yeah.
having the discipline to show up when you're supposed to show up and work out when you're supposed to work out makes you an athlete.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're 450 pounds and it's your first day. And I don't care if you've been doing it all your life.
I take it as far as getting up.
Yeah.
When you get up and you made that decision to get up.
Well, when you
Most of us don't make that. We hit that snooze again. Boom.
when you
over
make
and over
when
again.
you make the decision to live your life as an athlete, you become an athlete.
Yeah.
Just like a writer doesn't need to publish a book to be a writer. The first day he starts writing, no matter how crappy it is, he's a writer or she's a writer. Sorry. Or Zed is a writer or it is a writer. Whatever your pronouns are, I apologize. Them is a writer.
Yes.
Just like if I want to be a filmmaker. Go out and make a YouTube video. You're a filmmaker. And a lot of people argue with that. They're like, no, you're not a filmmaker until you make Justice League. Whatever. Because there's plenty of guys at that level that I would say are not filmmakers. So they are filmmakers because they do it. It's that simple. Do it and it makes you that.
No.
You might be new. I'm a new filmmaker or I'm a new writer or you could put new in front of it if it makes you feel better, but start giving yourself credit for what you're doing. You're a coach the first day you coach. I don't care if it's Mom and Me. I don't care if it's level 10 athletes. I don't care if it's at nationals. I don't care if it's on a Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. You're a coach.
Yep.
You got to act like it. You got to go through the paces, but you're a coach.
Yeah, so technically this
Take
means, because you're saying about like YouTubers and all that. So technically, this means we're pretty famous. And
We're podcasters, though.
yeah, and
As small as our audience is, as little as our audience is, we're podcasters.
yeah, and we do have fans.
Are we Robert Frank? No, we're not Robert Frank.
No,
But
I'm still better than you.
better than me?
No.
Better than the other
you.
people.
I'm just kidding.
Just got to piss people off. It's like you want to be me. Like, I got to make people mad.
No, I don't know. I don't want to do it like that. I just want to do it in
Yeah,
giggle.
because when I
Just
make
the-
people mad, it's usually I'm saying something that's true.
Yes.
You're being totally sarcastic.
Yeah. And still making people mad.
But I think that's true. You know, I was a comedian the first day I went on stage and told jokes. Was I a good comedian? I never put good in front of that, but I was a comedian the first day I went to an open mic. You're a comic.
Pretty good. I've seen them.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until you make how much oodles of money and all this stuff. No, it's that day. So just decide and go. And people don't do that because listen up, people. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be a comic, if you want to be a podcaster, if you want to be a gymnastics coach, go out and do it. People are going to complain and they are going to criticize and they're going to do everything, no matter if you do it or don't.
Mm-hmm.
Once you vocalize the dream, you're going to have critics because it's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And they want to put all their failures onto you.
Yep.
Screw them and go do it.
Well, it's like when we first started our shows, we talked about it. I think it was a while ago. I don't remember where it was. We were first in that coach's room, and I brought it up, and you're like, "Dude, I have all the equipment. I'll lend it to you." And then you're like, "Yeah, we should just do it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we had a bunch of people in that same room. That's like, "Yeah. Well, let's all get it." And then it was just the two,
right? Crickets.
And Will, obviously.
As soon as you put the rubber to the road,
yeah,
everybody else falls off.
Well, and the funny thing now,
and then they get pissed because you're doing it.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it. Like, who the right are you to tell people how to coach? What right do you have pretending like you know more than us? I'm not saying that. I'm giving my opinions.
Yeah.
Some of my opinions are valid. Some of them aren't. You can take them or you can leave them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. I wanted to put my opinions out there because I've happened to be pretty successful in what I think in a career that's pretty hard. And I want to help people that want to be better than me. That's it. I hope every person that listens to the show becomes a better coach than me or is a better coach than me. And I hope anything I've told you helps you. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. And if it does, I'm happy. That's it.
Yeah.
But everybody stood around. And when you're like, oh, we're going to do this podcast. Oh, I can never do that. I'm not good. How many people have we had on the show that like, should I be on the show? I don't know. No. Like, because we've done other podcasts that weren't coaching related, and we had people on the show and they're like, I don't know if I really got a valid opinion.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If 2021 has taught us anything, the validity of your opinion means absolutely nothing.
Well, I like the thing too where I'll get hey, I heard this other thing and I don't agree with you. You guys should do this and say this and blah blah. I'm like, why don't you just come on the show? Well,
I've tried it that way and it didn't work.
Or you should have me. Well, we told you a long time ago, and now all of a sudden we should. I mean, I don't know, because I'm going to tell you all this, guys. We've said in every episode, if you want to come on, let us know. We give you our email addresses. We do all this other stuff. But I'm pretty sure after we get Big Dog Hector in here, and we're talking to him. Me and Jason are about to blow up, and we're going to change a little bit. So I may gain 2 more pounds, but I still better than all of yous. I'm preparing for this. I told my wife, I go, yeah, let's go look at Ferraris. You know, she's like, you're stupid. I'm like, you never know, baby. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Me and Jason are blowing up.
Considering
Thanks,
I have tried to, let's see, how many sponsors have I approached to advertise on the show? Oh yeah, 0. How much money have we ever made on the show? Oh yeah, 0.
Yep.
It's going to stay that way probably. So,
which again, we're not in it for the money, but I joke because it's pretty funny.
I know. And people, that's the first question everybody asks. Like, money validates for some reason. And I don't know why, but that's the first question I always get asked. How much money do you make on that? Nothing. How much have you tried to make on it? Nothing. It's cost me a heck of a lot more than it ever.
Yeah.
But and we didn't market it the way we should have. We didn't do a lot of things the way we could have. We could be making money right now, and we just haven't. And, you can say for whatever reason. We can say because we don't want to be sellouts and everything else. That ain't true.
No,
it's
because if I can make money, I'll make it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So, but we haven't. It also would take work.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is we like talking about all this stuff all the time. Might as well do it on a podcast. A, B, if we can help a younger coach, new coach, older coach, to help maybe change their point of view that would help them, then that's good. And definitely, it's here to help change for the kids. You know what I mean? And to hear kids from their side, their point of view, maybe it'll help us understand it too. And then it's just fun.
It is fun. Like our 2.5 hour episode one that we did is our highest listened to show. I never thought a show that went 2.5 hours, as I look at the timer, that went 2.5 hours would be, oh, there's a timer right there on the screen.
35.
Wow. Look at that. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. I never thought in a million years a show that went 2.5 hours would be our highest listened to show. And it is. And which is great because Kinsey and Denise gave some great input. So it was really nice to have them on from a parent and a kid
they were
standpoint.
so awesome.
Yeah.
But Hector, don't worry, bro. We got you. We are excited.
You don't understand. You don't understand how excited Will and Anthony are. I'm excited too.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, both of them. I'll clear my schedule, bro.
Yeah.
You just tell me when, bro. I'll be there, bro.
Except for Friday night. I'm sorry, but my little girls are what's more important to me. buddy.
It's Saturday night. The fight's Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be in the.
I know, but you said Friday night.
Oh, yeah. Don't listen to me. I'm tired.
And here's the really funny thing. This shows you how good communication, how important communication is. Will texts me yesterday, and he goes, "Hey, are we driving or flying?" And I'm like, "How big time you think we are, bro? Why would we fly to Fort Worth?" And he goes,
"Helicopter in."
Yeah, and he goes, "Are we leaving like Thursday or Friday and coming back Sunday? When we?" Bro, it's an hour down it's 45 minutes. Like, we're going to Fort Worth. He's like, no, the fight's in Lubbock. I said, no, Anthony's going to be in Lubbock. We're going to Fort Worth, and trust me, we can drive.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes back and reads the text, because what I had said is the fight is in Fort Worth. Anthony can't go. He'll be in Lubbock with his 9 and 10 gymnasts. And I said, what a loser. And for some reason, Will, who you have to remember, Will does an immense amount of business every day. Like Will, to get here to do the show, it's hard for him because he owns his own company. He's CEO. He has to get in. Will is the most humble dude you'll meet, but Will's kind of a big deal. And Will comes. So he reads my text, and it's middle of the day. He's on his 250th phone call in the middle of a meeting with 5 other dudes, and he'll look at it and then scan over it as fast as he can and get back to the meeting. So he doesn't read my text, and my texts are always long and drawn out, and there's always just sarcasm all over the place. So he's like, "Should we fly?" Or first off, who flies to Lubbock? Oh, you're flying?
I'm flying Thursday.
Look at you big baller.
Boom.
I'm like, dude, should we just drop? What are we going to do? You want to just jump in your corporate helicopter and fly to Lubbock? What's going on, Will? He's like, oh, no, man, I thought it was in Lubbock.
I'm flying in my G5 airplane.
G5. And by that, he means what? Are you flying Southwest? Who are you flying?
American.
Flying is American.
They sent me a thing. Do you want to upgrade to first class for $112?
For a 30-minute plane ride.
30 minutes and a little bit more legroom? No, thank you. I am humble. I sit with my people. Unless I fly to
Now,
Europe.
remember, when you're checking in, stay 6 feet apart. When you get on the plane, make sure it's 6 centimeters apart.
Yeah. Well, I just hold my breath.
That just shows how silly.
And I forgot this last thing when we're talking about it, about us doing the podcast and all that stuff. My favorite thing about doing this podcast is me looking at myself in the camera. Oh, and by the way, my wife last night, so we went on our date night. So we went to dinner and we're sitting there.
Who'd she go out with?
With this.
Oh, you guys go out with each other on date night. I'm sorry.
Me.
I'm sorry.
And so she's sitting there.
Me and my wife go out with other people on date
She's
night.
like, because unfortunately my daughter didn't make it to state. And,
oh, she didn't? I
she
didn't know
qualified
that.
for an event, but we're like, you know what? Well, let's just be done.
Yeah.
Let's heal the back and look forward to this next thing. We have some stuff coming up. Anyway, so they're not going anymore. And she's like, hey, and I was talking about Hector and getting excited for this show, right? And she's like, so this means we get your tickets and we get to go watch Hector because I'm a huge boxing fan. And my wife is, by the way.
Yeah.
And she was a kickboxer when she was in Lithuania. So she loves it. So she's like, yeah, so you're going to give us the tickets if you get tickets. And
No.
we get to go hang out, right? And I was like, no, they want me and I can. She's like, why do we have to suffer for you? And I'm like, first of all, you didn't have to suffer anything. You don't even do anything. She's like, are you really going to say that me and your daughter can't go for you? And I was like, are you really going to take this away from me and go enjoy what is rightfully mine? And she's like, no, I'm just kidding, baby. I'm sorry. It's like, dude, you're so mean, dude. Because I started feeling guilty.
Do you want to give a shout out to El Paso? Since you're wearing the shirt.
Well, you can read it on this, worked out chest right here. El Paso, what's up?
El Paso, what's up?
I will be representing with, Hector, because I know, he's my people.
I know. You gave me the T-shirt, so I'm
like
be wearing the Valdez T-shirt.
Do I speak Spanish? Should I do that?
I don't care. Go ahead and speak Spanish.
No, because you know what's going to happen is
People are going to make fun of it.
Like, that's not how you say that, stupid.
How do they put the accent in on the comments? That's what I want to know. That's not how you say it, stupid. That wasn't even Spanish. I don't even know what accent that was.
I don't know. Anyway.
Just like when I try to do my boss's accent, it always comes out Russian, and he's from Brazil. So,
yeah,
sounds stupid. That's we're also going to have Igor on the show. Igor wants to come on.
Nice.
Carvalho.
He seems like a nice fellow.
He's a very nice fellow, and he trains so many pro athletes. I want to have him on because he trains such a high level of athlete. Because he does Igor's, he came up with Igor's mobility training too, and so he trains all these high level athletes.
I need to get in on that. Minnesota.
You need to train, or you need to.
Minnesota, I can train your whole team. Just so you know. Dalvin,
I'll tell you what.
Give me a call.
I'll tell you what. He's got enough people in pro athletes that I'm sure if he called Minnesota for you and say, hey, I'm going to send my trainer up there, they would let you come up there.
Zimmer, let's go, bro.
Yeah. What's it matter? I mean, it's not like it's a really high level pro team. I mean, they're pretty much
winners all the time.
Semi-pro, yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? We go to an NFC championship and lose it?
Did they go this year to the NFC Championship game?
We didn't even make the playoffs.
Did. Yeah.
But we did, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Didn't the Bears make the playoffs this year?
I know. When was the last time they did that before?
The year that they were in the NFC Championship game. It was not a decade ago. It was like 3 years ago. It was at level 8 regionals. We were at level 8 regionals in Kansas City.
The Bears in an NFC Championship game?
They clinked it. They clinked it off. It might have been divisional. They clinked it off. Remember against the Philadelphia, and then didn't the Philadelphia Eagles go on to win that Super Bowl? They beat the Bears because the Bears missed the field goal, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
And Minnesota was in the NFC Championship that lost to the Philadelphia Eagles.
That year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Will let us know.
I'll let you know because I know. My cousin's a Philly fan, and I remember I was like, we got this. We're not losing to Philly. And I was in New Jersey with another gym, and I had to watch that.
The only thing Minnesota's better at than losing playoff games is losing Super Bowls.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're the best at it, though. Bills, you can eat it.
You and the Bills are
No, we did it first. The Bills did it after us, and then they
once you showed the Bills the potential.
At least Minnesota's always pretty decent, and we lose in the playoffs. The Bills barely make it. I mean, they
pretty
were lucky
decent and lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, we always make the playoffs. We're always in the playoffs.
And what round did you lose in this year?
Okay. Except for this year. We got to give other team chances.
They're just like you. They want to give other people.
Look, we were trying to give the Bears.
They were trying to give Green Bay, actually.
Green Bay's always pretty darn good.
Yeah. At least we all have Detroit. We all have Detroit. Everybody's like, hey, Are you going to go 0-16? No, we played Detroit twice. Everybody be at least 2-14. We played Detroit.
How great would it be to, no, seriously, how great would it be to jump into the Cowboys division?
Oh, no kidding. Both the Vikings and the Bears would look like studs.
Yeah. And would for sure would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We didn't have to try. We could put our B team in.
Who made it this year? Washington Caucasians?
No, it was
Washington.
Oh, was it?
I think it was Washington made it.
Yeah,
The Washington Caucasians made it.
Yeah, you're right.
Though no, it's Washington Super Wokes. I think there's some Washington Super Wokes, is what they're called. Isn't it the Super Wokes?
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure too.
Pretty sure. Or it's the Washington I'm Offendeds.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah, they made it. Oh, and then of course, check this out. Let's not pay Dak Prescott when he was healthy. He took his team finally to a playoff game. Hey, good for you, Dak. And then he gets injured, right?
I ain't saying nothing about Dak. We have too many connections with the Dallas Cowboys right now for me to say anything about Dak.
Whoa, just go with my logic here. I don't care, Dak. You suck, dude.
Dude. We have ends with the Cowboys right now. We might have a Cowboy on, and now you can talk trash about, okay. Just so you know, I'm totally calling you out if he comes on the show. I'm totally calling you out if he comes on the show.
I'm joking. I love to trigger you Cowboy fans. I am not a Cowboy
I'm not a Cowboy.
By any
I'm
means.
not a Cowboy fan.
Not by any means. Okay. I do not dislike the Cowboys. I ain't one of these guys that watches the Cowboys so they can lose because they
as long as the Cowboys, as long as the Cowboys aren't playing the Bears, I root for them to win.
Especially my daughter. Like, oh my gosh, if I say one thing about Dak, oh man, she's heated with me. Like,
you can say whatever you want. Dak's a good guy.
No, I know. I tease. I kid. Relax, guys. Everybody,
I don't know.
Let's take it down a notch, Cowboy fans.
I just love how everybody's like,
everybody knows that he ain't no better than. I'm sorry, he is better than Kirk Cousins. That was a waste of $84 million a year.
How about this? They all make more than Tom Brady. All Tom Brady makes is Super Bowl trophies.
Not anymore. That fool gets paid now.
He just restructured his contract and is taking less money so they can have more players. He just restructured his contract for 5 years so he makes less because he wants to keep winning Super Bowls.
Well, that's because he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Even if he throws a Super Bowl trophy across water, who cares?
You know what?
And doesn't wear a mask. Who cares?
Oh, gosh, we're going to get in trouble with
this. I know. Okay, we're gonna leave anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna leave there. We're dancing on that line anyway.
Anyway, go ahead, tell them.
Like, comment, subscribe, comment. It helps out our algorithm to other people because we keep telling you guys and you don't comment, but then you'll call me or text me and be like, "Hey, that was good."
I know. I get so many calls and texts. I'm like, "Hey, can you post that on there?" No, I don't want to post.
Oh, and by the way, guys, if you guys see me at a meet again. I know this good looks is kind of,
intimidating.
You can say hi to me. I'll take a picture. If you want an autograph, it'll be $50.
I've only been to one meet all year and nobody came and said hi. Oh, that's not true. Dre said hi.
I've had a couple.
Dre said hi.
Cool.
So, anyway.
They're probably like, I hate those two.
I hope. Hate gets way more listens than likes.
I know, but I hate being hated.
Well, and I've listened to other podcasts, and we do a broad spectrum because we have Will on the show too. So we do a broad spectrum of sports, but I've listened to some gymnastics podcasts, and they're so much more technical than we are. They're like, so when you're teaching the kip, we're going to start with, and I'm like, oh crap. I think we talk about a more relatable coaching style. I don't know. If you want to learn technique, there's so many places out there you can learn technique. Yeah. And I think philosophy and all that good stuff is much more important.
Yep.
But anyway. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Share. Share the YouTube one. Share all of them.
Okay, guys. We will talk to you later. Thanks for listening to the Coach's Spot.
Text it to your mother if you have to.
Bye.
That was a good one.